it is Monday and today is the first day of our van life journey. We are still in the Netherlands and we are waiting for our new license plates because our van was just officially registered as a camper. That was 2 weeks ago and it takes a bit longer because there are quite a few holidays in between. So we have to wait until they finish making them, and when we have them we can start our journey across Europe, but for now we're still here and just visiting some family. So in a few hours we should arrive at my mother's and we will see my stepdad, my brothers, my mother, and have lovely dinner there. And we're spending the night in a city called Heerlen. They have a couple of camper van spots at which you can park for free or for a little bit of money each night. In the Netherlands it's not allowed to park anywhere or in parking lots and stuff like that, like you might be used to doing in America. There are a couple of countries in which you can, but here you can't. So we're just waiting. We're just finding a couple of spots that we can use throughout the week. We've only been on the road for a few minutes, but we're just checking up on them because this is their first journey in this crate in the back. Everything else still seems to be in place, so that's alright. And these things have also stayed in place, and that's something that we're very surprised about, because they're very loose, but I think this ridge just keeps them in place, and also we don't drive at such high speeds either. We are now completely at the south of the Netherlands in a city called Kerkrade, and yeah, we're excited to be here. It's been a while since we were here. It's quite a journey from the north of the Netherlands, but we drove through the entire country actually in 4 hours, so that just goes to show how small this country is. But yeah, I'm excited for a lovely evening here. It's now the end of the day and I thought you guys would like to meet my brothers.
Peter.
Antoine.
It was a very fun day and I thought it would be great for them to be in the vlog as well. It's now around 11 o'clock and we have arrived at our parking spot for the night. It's a free camper parking lot and I think we have 4 neighbors, so we're not alone. We do have an issue though. Jordi can easily go a number 1 outside, as can the dogs, but I would like to use the toilet as it's literally in front of just some random houses. But the issue is that the toilet cannot scoot out anymore since the bed is completely fixed in and we have no clue how that happened. So we squeezed it out, but we're scared to squeeze the toilet back in because we think it will harm the lid. And well, I just had my first pee on the toilet and my knee was in the fridge and the other knee was luckily next to the fridge, which doesn't have a door, so perfect. But it was quite alright actually, but we just can't get the toilet back. So this is what the kitchen looks like for the night. We can literally sit, do the dishes, cook our breakfast and get some fresh fruit from the fridge. Jordi's already in bed, but I still have to get out because the inverter is not switched on and the switch is at the back of the van. So I have to get out and flip the switch and turn it on because then we can charge my camera battery. It actually rained a lot, by the way, over the past few hours. Thunderstorm we had as well, but it was so much rain that I was showing the van to my brother's girlfriend and her mother, and we all four of us were in this small area in the van, and it worked. And I told them to run back indoors, but it started raining so bad that just from locking up the van and running back, I think, what, 20 meters, I was soaked. But the van is not leaking, so yeah, I'm happy that it rained, because at least we know that it's, for now, dry here. It's now Tuesday and we slept quite well in the bed. We were parked up again next to a few other vans. We saw another Transit, a self-built Renault Master, and some massive camper vans. But we had breakfast and the dogs are still in the crate waiting to go out for the first time, but Jordi has to go to the bathroom and we don't have toilet paper. So we decided we're going to look for a grocery shop, and there should be a few nearby. See if they are open and have a toilet, and then we can also do some shopping because we need to. So that's the plan for this morning. We found the supermarket, we were able to use the toilet, which was nice, and we bought toilet paper as well as some fruit for today so that we can have some lunch. We're now on our way up north towards a forest that also has a lake, and it's quite near where we will be visiting Jordi's aunt later on. So we thought driving there would be a good option, take the dogs out for a walk and just enjoy the nice weather outdoors before we visit her, because she isn't home until 1 o'clock, so we have some time. I just made some phone calls. I approached the company that goes about your license plates, and they said that indeed it has taken them quite a long time and she couldn't really give me the information that we needed, so apparently they will contact us within 48 hours. And at least they have our new address now, so if it does get sent, the license, then it should arrive at Jordi's parents and not at our old apartment. So that's good news. But when it will arrive, we don't know. She expected it to arrive this week, meaning that if it were to arrive on Friday, for example, we could get the new license plates then, but we're not too sure. We will hopefully hear more today or either tomorrow then. We have arrived to a city called Wijchen, which is close to a city called Nijmegen, and we are heading to a forest that I've seen on Instagram a couple of times, as a friend of ours, or an Instagram fan of ours, goes for hikes here very often with his dogs. So we're excited to check it out for half an hour, and then we're headed off to Jordi's aunt. What's up, Pippi?
Die kant op en dan in principe een beetje we lopen tegen het water aan en dan gaan we een beetje dingen.
So we just saw a woman walking 10 dogs, one on leash, the rest off lead. And they were all very slim, beautiful dogs. And Venus isn't used to being approached by dogs, so she started crying when a small dog ran up to her. But at least she met 10 well-behaved dogs. They were all very calm. So yeah, that's a good thing for a puppy. She's 4 months old right now, so she has to learn a lot, experience a lot. Whew, dark. Come on! We are back on the road. We just visited Jordi's aunt. It was lovely seeing her again. And when we were approaching her home, we were reminded of the fact that when we bought our domain for our blog, we wanted a .com domain, but that was already bought by someone else. People can apparently make money if they find more popular Instagram accounts and Twitter accounts and stuff like that, and then search for that name as a domain, and if they find a free .com domain, they buy it for €10 or $10, whatever, and they have that for a year. And for us that was the case. I had an Instagram account already for Mojo, the dog, and we had a little over 30,000 followers, and apparently our .com domain was then worth 2,500 euros, which is $3,000 approximately, or 2,000 pounds, a little over that. So way too much. So that's why we went for a .blog domain, as that's just cheaper, and it was a blog anyway, so that didn't matter. And Jordi then wrote down when the .com domain would expire and when it would become available again. So he just checked that list and saw that that was already in December. So he quickly looked online and the .com domain was available, and he just bought it. So now we have both the .com and .blog, and we were now considering switching over. But since we have been blogging for a couple of months, all of the websites have risen in Google, so some specific things, if you type them, you will find our blog post at the top or near the top, and that's obviously great to get more visitors and stuff like that. But that also means that if we switch over to a .com domain, that it's very difficult to keep all of the traffic and to keep the people finding our articles and reading everything. So we are now discussing what we will do, but at least it's protected for another year, so we can think about it for a few days, and then if we want to update our website, we can do that on the new domain and then switch over completely. But it's quite technical, quite difficult, and it can go wrong very easily. So yeah, that's what we will be discussing on the way over, driving to my father. It's now the next day, and we spent our evening at my father's and then visited my grandma, and I think we were actually with her until like 12 o'clock. Then went to sleep in the van, and we just parked it on a parking lot near her building. And then this morning woke up at 8, took the dogs for a walk, and then we had breakfast at her place. And I'm now just picking up our laptops, and we're going to do some work. So we'll just sit at her kitchen table and yeah, work on the website, work on the I think one of the videos. We hope to get that up on Thursday, so you will have seen that by now if it did indeed go up. Then I have to do some dishes here as well, and eventually I think we will take her to a lovely village and sit on a terrace later on, and we were also going out for dinner, she said, so we will have a very fun day with her. And tonight we are off to visit Jordi's parents because they are going on holiday tomorrow, so that's also the final time that we will see them. So yeah, that's today's plans, and we'll now take you inside, and you'll probably see my grandma again. So I just collected all of our bathroom supplies, and I thought I'd run you through them because it's quite an interesting collection. So we have our toothpaste, which is one of the few things that comes in plastic. It's one of the toothy tabs by Lush. Lush is mostly biodegradable, but it does have some synthetic ingredients, so we will skip Lush after we finish all of their products. But the fun thing about them is that they are quite popular, and they have started selling products without packaging. This is one of the products that we love, but it always comes in a plastic bottle. And we hope that they would eventually do that, that you can weigh them and put them in a glass jar yourself, like a bulk buy. But at the moment that's not possible. But they do reuse these bottles themselves to create new bottles, and eventually, if the plastic has degraded far enough, they will make them into I think name cards and stuff like that, product cards for in their stores. So they are relatively sustainable as far as products like that go. Then we have 2 bamboo toothbrushes by Briot Essentials, a bamboo comb for my hair. We have a I think this is a wild boar hair brush by Aleppo. This is for shaving. Then we have 2 safety razors. I have yet to use mine, but it's really time, so I'm going to try it today for the first time. I just need a blade, and Jordi already has a blade in his, but we have to replace that already. I think after 3 times now. But we go for those rather than plastic razors ever since we finished them, and yeah, it's now time for me to try it out. That's my first blade. I just have to insert that. This jar was given along with the brush to try out a moisturizer. So even though we ordered something which was plastic free and also came in plastic free packaging, it was sent with a plastic tester and another plastic tester. We then have another Lush soap bar. This is the Fig and Leaves, I think. Very lovely, but again, it's not completely natural, and even though it does degrade and it will not harm the environment, according to Lush, we emailed them, it's something that we will skip eventually because it has quite a lot of ingredients, and that's not necessary, of course. Then we have a completely natural shaving soap, and it lathers a lot, and it works much better than using a regular soap, although that works as well. But again, it's completely natural, completely biodegradable, but then it was shipped in a plastic wrapper, so that's a shame. All we need though is a tin to store it, and then we can take this plastic out. So now I'm going to head in, and we both have a shower at my grandma's. Very fun day with my grandmother. We went over to the village in which Jordi's parents live, because we know that she loves going to a terrace there and just having a cup of coffee. So that's where we went. It was actually quite a struggle for her to climb into the van, because the van is very tall. And we asked her neighbors, and one of her neighbors had a small little bench on which she could step first and then climb into the van, so we were allowed to take that along with us. So that's how she climbed in and out of the van, but it was fun, and yeah, we actually had something to laugh about, so it was a fun afternoon. And we then also went out for dinner with her, and yeah, we were at her place, so from yesterday evening, spent the night at her parking lot, and had a shower at her place as well, and then spent the entire day until 7, so it was a good time, and I'm really going to miss her, but it was fun spending a lot of time in a row with her. We are now at Jordi's parents' place because we have to wait for our post to arrive, our new license plates, the proof of those license plates. They will arrive. That will arrive here. All of those papers. They should be arriving tomorrow. So let's hope, fingers crossed, that they do. Then we can get our license plates and finish fixing the insurance, and then we should be ready to leave. Just waiting for everything now. It's all been confirmed that everything is completely finished. So all it has to do is arrive here. So that means that we have some time to work on our website and our work, do some stuff, and yeah, keep visiting family until we are ready to go. Good morning. It is Thursday, and we are just having breakfast in the van. We have overnight oats again with cocoa powder and some strawberries. And we have no clue what we'll be doing today. We hope to receive some post for the license plates, so fingers crossed that will arrive today. And other than that, we will mainly be working on the website, and we also made a Fiverr account because we really like writing, and we have been doing that for quite a while. So with the expertise in a couple of subjects from studying them, we thought, why not try it out and see if we can find some people that we can write for. I just did the dishes in the van for the first time, and actually don't have that little space. I can do it quite well here, even though the sink is very small. It's quite deep, so that's alright. And we are currently just doing the dishes with cold water. There was nothing like meat or anything like it. It was just those oats, the bowls from yesterday and today, and some cutlery. So, and I'll also do the dog's water bowl. But we are planning on writing a blog post of doing the dishes with cold water, because we are very interested to know more about doing that, because we have been used to doing it with quite hot water. Basically, we know that the food will dissolve a bit quicker and that it will be easier to do the dishes, but if it's necessary, we're not sure. We also use a biodegradable dish soap, so that might also influence the effectivity, but we're going to research that and write about it soon. And because I think there are quite a few van lifers that have the same issue. They have to boil water, add it to the sink to make warm water. So yeah, but for now it was just easy to clean everything, so that's why I went for it. We are now packed up and it's dinner time, and we are making dinner with some food that we got from Jordi's parents. They had some organic eggs still, and she also had some vegetables. So we will have an omelette with I think courgette or zucchini and paprika, and my mom also had some herbs in her garden. So my stepdad cut off some of that rosemary, and that will be the herbs for today. So I think that's a nice meal. And we made some cutting boards using the leftover wood from our countertop. But when we did the dishes with them for the first time to clean them and to see whether or not they were nice, they actually started crumbling a lot. There were so many little splinters, and yeah, we had to throw them out. We oiled them 3 times, and then once we washed them for the first time, they started falling apart. So that's a shame of the wood. Jordi's father will now use it in his wood burner, but yeah, it's a shame. So we now don't have a cutting board, so we can't use our sharp knives, so Jordi's using just a little knife on a plate. We don't want to damage our good quality knives, so we will have to get a new cutting board and then we can use them again. So as you can see, we're starting off very simple for the first meal, but that's alright. We will have more advanced meals eventually, as we have 4 obs, so we can do a lot. Whilst we're cooking our dinner, the dogs are enjoying a nap on top of each other. It's so cute. Okay, it ended up being scrambled eggs with veggies, but it looks delicious, so I can't wait to dig in. Jordi spent the evening at a friend's and I edited a video, so if you are interested in watching our packing up time lapse, then that's up right now. It has been for a couple of days. I will link that below. And now we're playing Carcassonne, which is a board game, and it's very simple and it doesn't take too much space on the table. And Jordi just started off and he already has a couple of points. So now it's my turn. Zijn die verkleurd, hè, die andere?
Ja, nogal.
It's now Friday, and as you saw, we just picked up our new number plates, meaning that we are completely finished to leave the country. We also just drove, I think, half a kilometer, and we picked up these stickers. So we have our logo and our name, so Mojo and Friends, and we want to put them on the car, on the van, but the van is dirty. We haven't washed the exterior yet. That's basically because the van didn't have any insurance whilst we were building, and the insurance has been back on it for 3 weeks, but since there was still a leakage, we couldn't really wash the van. That's now fixed, and since the stickers have to be adhered properly, we want to clean it just quickly beforehand. And yeah, so we're now just looking for a car wash without a roof, or with a roof that's much higher than, or a bit higher than 3 meters. Otherwise we can't fit under it. And then we want those brushes to brush the van and clean the van by hand instead of walking into it or driving into a car wash, because we can't do that due to the solar panels and stuff on the roof. So that's the plan now, to find something where we can wash our van. Yay, the van fits under one of these things, so we can now wash her. And it's taking much longer than we would have thought, but yeah, oh well. So we just visited a common Dutch grocery store and filmed a video for you guys in which we show how difficult it is to find plastic-free items, and we will share that with you quite soon. I think that might be up next week or even sooner. But it was quite a challenge, and you will see it all in that video, and once it's up I'll link that below this one as well. Yeah, plastic-free living is difficult, and it's not always a possibility actually, but we will try our hardest to eliminate plastic and yeah, to limit our plastic consumption, but it will be very difficult. Sticker number 1 is now in place. We started off with a method that the employee said would be best to use, but there are so many air bubbles there. So Jordi used a different method and that worked way better. As you can see, it's completely clean. So he's now trying to push out those air bubbles. And we do see that there's a mistake in the sticker as well, as there is a triangle here that should not be orange, and that is orange. So now the legs look a bit off. Hopefully we can get that out, but we don't think we will. Today we are extra aware of our plastic waste, but let's hope that after today we won't create any extra unnecessary waste. Of course, having logos on your vehicle is not necessary, but it's a way of branding, it's a way of communicating, and we love it. And it also covers the old logo that you can see here. It's kind of shiny there. Right now it's covered with something much more prominent. It's now Saturday and we have been working on the blog the entire morning, and I've also written some emails and sent those out. And it's now lunchtime and I'm going to make a quick chickpea salad, and I thought I'd show you how I make it in this van. So that's it, a quick chickpea salad with some cucumber, avocado and goat's cheese, and that will actually be one of our final things that we have that contains dairy. Everything that contains dairy is usually packaged in plastic, and dairy isn't that healthy for you either, and the animals aren't treated well either, so I think for us this will be one of the final products that contains dairy. We do still have some eggs here in the fridge, and we are not completely vegan. Most of the meals that we eat are, but our dogs also eat eggs, shell and all, so we will probably always have these whenever we can get some fresh ones at small farms or stuff like that. These were just free as Jordi's mom had some left. But yeah, as far as dairy goes, this will probably be one of the final items. I just quickly sprinkled on some herbs and some flaxseed, ground flax. Usually we have flax in our smoothies in the morning. We have that, I think we had that every other day, but we don't have a blender yet, and we will probably buy one eventually, but I just thought I would add some flax in here so that we get some omega-3. Flax is very healthy, and especially ground, you probably don't notice it as much in salads, so I just thought why not sprinkle some on here. After lunch we went to Jordi's grandfather. We spent the afternoon with him, and afterwards we cooked dinner and we cleaned both of the water tanks and filled up our freshwater tank approximately halfway. We have seen that over the past few days we have used barely any water, and we're not too sure how much water we will take with us for like longer periods of time, how long it will last us, and for how long it will stay fresh enough to drink. So we only fill it up halfway because it's just extra weight if we add more, and when we do the dishes we only use a shallow layer of water, and that would be the main source of water use, aside from drinking obviously. So I think we should be able to go with 60 liters for a while. So that's what we put in, and we are now actually leaving the country, and we won't be back for a while. We are now on our way to a city in Germany called Lingen, and that's where my grandparents live and my uncle as well. So we are on our way there, and we will park up on one of those camper spots for the night, and that's one of those spots where you can just park for 24 hours. And this one even has a toilet, even though it's free, so that's super luxurious. And yeah, I think it would be a 10-minute drive or something to my grandparents tomorrow, so we can work on the blog until then, until we have to go to theirs. And I think it's also surrounded by nature, and there is a lake as well, so that should be great for the dogs as well. So that's the plan for tonight. Drive over there. I think it should be 45 minutes, so it's not too long. Good morning. It is Sunday, the final day of this week, and we started our morning with a lovely breakfast. We were seated at our table, and a guy walked up to the van and complimented us on the wood burner. He saw us driving up last night and was so interested to see whether or not he was right and whether or not we actually had a wood burner. So he checked that out, and we continued with our breakfast, and suddenly we smelt something, and I was like, oh, probably one of the dogs just farted. Well, no. Venus had an accident. She's still a 4-month-old puppy, and even though she hasn't had too many accidents, today was one of those days. It was not just pee but also diarrhea, so we actually had to throw out one of the blankets because it was completely covered. Yeah, so that was not the best breakfast adventure. Whilst I was cleaning the dog crate, another guy came walking up and also wanted to see the wood burner. We had heard those people talk about it together, and yeah, it was fun to see that other van lifers actually, no, well, they have some self-converted vans on holiday here. They also wanted to check our stuff out, and that was just fun to see. We then took the dogs for 2 walks, and other than that we have been working. I'm working on today's blog post, and Jordi's working on Wednesday's blog post, and we don't have internet, so he can't finish designing the new website, but we will probably do that tomorrow or so in like a cafe where we can get some Wi-Fi. Jordi's now making lunch. He is making banana, oat and egg pancakes. We still have a couple of eggs left that we got from Jordi's mother, so this was actually perfect as the bananas were quite ripe as well, so that will be a good lunch. And in an hour or so we are headed towards my grandparents and uncle, and we'll be at theirs for a couple of hours, and then we'll drive north. Not sure where we'll go just yet, but we're just slowly traveling towards Denmark, and yeah, we'll see where we end up tonight, not sure, but yeah. We're actually parked in between so many camper vans, like mostly RVs, but quite a few self-built ones as well. We saw a Volkswagen LT. We were just parked in front of a large truck, and there are also some Westfalia transporters, and yeah, it's fun to see other people that built their own vans. This table is perfect to work on, by the way. We can perfectly sit just the 2 of us. As you can see, here's a nice spot for the laptop, and I've got the iPad here. And I mean, we're seated close together, but that's fun. Yay, that's pancake number 1. This is so delicious, and Jordi also added some cinnamon. And it might look very boring and perhaps even not as appetizing to some of you, but we really like it. Oh, and Jordi just said that he also added some nuts. I think he added walnuts, so that it adds another extra crunch. So yeah, it should be very nutritious and delicious. We are now back in the car. We spent, I think, 3 hours at my grandparents and my uncle's, and it was very fun seeing them again. It's been a while since we've seen them, and they had some lovely marmalade and jam for us and some other lovely food items, so we've got something to eat for the next few weeks, some snacks as well. And yeah, they loved the dogs as well. They had obviously seen Mojo a few times, and Venus they hadn't seen yet, so it was great for them to meet her as well. And it's now around 6 o'clock, and we left theirs at a little over half an hour ago, and we're now driving north in the towards the area of Bremen, and we're slowly going to approach Denmark, and we hope to arrive there soon because we haven't visited that country just yet. We have been in Germany so often, and that's because we lived so near the country. Jordi has lived in Jena as well, in the east of Germany. But we have only stopped with an airplane once in Copenhagen on our way back from Norway when we went hiking for a few weeks, and so we haven't seen the country at all yet. So that's probably the area on which we will head first, but we won't drive too far every day. We'll just enjoy Germany whilst we still can, and but it will be fun going there. It has been very, very hot in the Netherlands and Germany over the past few weeks, and that's actually not too normal for our country. Usually the summer is a bit, has a lot of rain, or well, we experience it as being quite rainy. It is not relatively a lot of rain though, that falls each year, but we complain a lot. But it was very hot. I think it was around 26 degrees or even hotter for at least 3 weeks now. We had 2 colder days, but that was it. And for the dogs and for us, it's not really something we prefer. So that's also why we are heading north. Aside from the fact that we just want to go to Scandinavia, having a bit more cold weather is something that we really like, and we do not mind the rain too much. But for now, I think we're driving around 100 kilometers in total, and we will arrive in an area near Bremen today. And yeah, it should be a spot that also has Wi-Fi, and we will have to pay around 5 euros for the night, but that also means that we can upload a blog post, and probably if we do have time to edit a video, then we can also upload this vlog tomorrow morning or perhaps the next day. Just depends on how much time and we have, and on the quality of the Wi-Fi, of course. We have been driving for a while, and we actually parked up on a camper parking lot, but we thought that it would have Wi-Fi, and since we had to pay for this spot and it didn't have Wi-Fi, we kept driving because we have to upload a blog post today, and the internet here just on our phone to use as a hotspot is actually not too great. So we decided to keep driving and find a different parking lot. In Germany, you can actually park on parking lots as long as they are not private and stay there and spend the night, unless it's longer than 24 hours. And we drove, I think, half an hour extra, but couldn't really find a spot, so we have now decided to drive even further. But on the way, Venus started crying, so we stopped at a parking lot and saw that she had another accident, so she isn't feeling too well actually. So we hope that it will be better tomorrow. But for now, we should have arrived at the spot that we would be staying tonight. Just a regular parking lot we hope to find near a forest, so we'll see. what it looks like. It won't have internet connection, but that's something that we have to deal with and that we have to learn to find better. Whilst I finished writing the blog post, Jordi made some dinner. We have some sweet potato with rosemary and a salad of cucumber, pepper and some goat's cheese, the leftover piece from last Saturday. Oh, that was yesterday. And yeah, just enjoying our dinner. And it's already 10 o'clock, so it's quite late. Then we'll hope to find some internet. Not too sure how that will be. We're quite close to a large city, but we're also close to a lake, so it might be that the internet connection is intermittent due to that we're just a bit far away from something. I'm not sure. We'll see. We have 2 hours if we want to post it in time. We have never missed a day, so it would feel a bit odd to do so. So we'll just walk around with our iPhone and our laptop until we find internet. I think that would be the best idea, and then we can use the phone as a hotspot and use that Wi-Fi to upload the blog post. We've got the text ready and the photos are ready as well, so it shouldn't take too long after dinner.